Hey, what's up, Will? I'm finding a rare opportunity to make a video, and I'm thinking one thing I might start doing is I might just start, having like a necklace jar or something, since I like to wear a necklace in a video, and I never seem to have my necklace quite handy. But I feel very fortunate and very blessed to live in a state that has like an extended, I wouldn't call it a Christmas season, but we have something in between Christmas and Easter that is not Valentine's, which is a perfectly useless holiday to me. So we have Mardi Gras. You would be surprised, even though this isn't Texas, how much Texas culture there is here, how much of this culture is in Texas. So it's probably a little bit too much information as to where I live, but you can probably imagine that it's one of the red states. And what I want to talk about in this video, I really don't have a good topic, but just wanted to say that, like, really not understanding the lack of views that I'm getting. And, oh, the other thing that's pathetic about where we live is, like, you can have snow, like one of my previous recent videos that aren't getting any views. You can have anything from snow to ridiculously hot weather that requires the air conditioning in the winter time. But then in the summer, of course, hot weather is all you have, so no complaints. It just fluctuates during the rest of the year. It can feel like any of the four seasons. In the winter and in the spring and fall, it can feel like, well, yeah, anything except winter, basically. So anyway, I really do not understand the lack of views that I get. Why my videos just do not get a lot of views. Because I find them very interesting. I'm really not understanding why. I hardly get any views at all. Any views at all. Unless I tag some movie that I'm really not, or not movie, TV show that I'm really not watching that much anymore. But nobody seems to want to watch my stupid videos. I don't get that. I do not understand why, far inferior music videos to mine get hundreds, if not thousands of views, whereas my music videos, hardly get anything. Hardly any views except my views and a couple other people. And why a few people have thumbed me down, which I'm not going to tell you how I know that. I do not understand that either. Why someone would thumb down my content, but it's whatever. It's better than just not engaging, I guess. So, I just do not understand the lack of comments. Now, I know a lot of my videos don't allow comments, but some of them actually do. I mean, most of them probably do. Not sure the percentage, but I know that a lot of my videos allow comments. Yet, even when I do allow comments, I hardly ever get any. Mystery of mysteries. So, wish I had something interesting to talk about, but just, more of the same about how, there's just so much on TV that I don't like, and, I do not understand, why people just do not like my content. They don't like me. They don't like my contributions on various websites, which really shuts me down in wanting to create them. When you get negative feedback, you tend to not want to go back for more. Even just one person not liking what you have to say can be enough to really discourage you from posting. And, it's just too much, I got too much stuff here. And like I say, I really do wish that I could, find some way to rid my life of at least a few items, not my favorites. Now, obviously, there's just some things that I'm not willing to part with, but I just really look around and say, wow, I just wish I could throw that off of a Mardi Gras float. I wish I could donate it to somebody that would throw it off of a float. And, you know, what I really wish is that I could sell things by category. I wish I could like organize them in such a way, you know, that like instead of trying to sell them individually, I could round up everything pertaining to this show that I no longer want in my life, everything pertaining to that show that I no longer want in my life, and so on. And that people would buy it as a lot instead of an individual item. Because some of these shows are so old and obscure that people may not even know the characters individually anymore, and that's sad. I always anticipated that they would go up in value, but I've been grossly disappointed by that. I've been grossly disappointed. Um, it's like, and the few things that really would have some value are the few things I would want to keep. So, you would think that with male dolls being as outnumbered as they are in the doll world, that, just having one in and of itself would make it 10 times more valuable than the girls. But no, I'm getting these offers where they're wanting to practically give away Sophia the First doll lots containing both James and Cedric, and sometimes King Roland as well. And maybe even a few other guys that were not on the show, boys like the ones I have that were not even on the show with them. So really, they don't have as much value as you would think. They really haven't gone up quite as much. Now, perhaps they will, perhaps it's just not on a long enough time frame, but it's just a shame, how you have all these things and you think they're valuable, but they're really only valuable to you. To the average person, the average person would look upon them and say, oh, that's just another McDonald's toy, when they couldn't be more wrong. And so, like, yeah, that's just more of the same that I want to talk about. About how I just do not understand people's, like, disinclination to even watch my videos, let alone comment or like them, or you know what I'm saying. I really don't understand that. I guess it's a good thing, if the people who know me in real life don't find me because of them, but in the same time, it's like, why am I even doing this? It's like I can only put forth so much effort, and to have so little in return from it. People just don't care. And like, my songs in particular, I'll never understand why. Some of my songs, like Cedric Loses His Lunch. The day I posted that, I thought it would have at least 100 views the first day. But yeah, just things like that. You would think that the content that I'm putting out would be like all the rage. But unfortunately it just isn't. And that's what, that's what surprises me the most about all this stuff that I've been talking about. It's like, the biggest question that I have about it is like, why? Same thing I've been wondering, since I made the first couple of videos, some being blocked for copyright. And the question is, why am I the first one who has ever brought these things to light? That's what I've always wondered. The information has been out there since whenever it was created, you know what I'm saying? Since whenever it was released. The information and the ability to draw the conclusion I've drawn has been out there. It's not new, and it isn't rocket science. It's been out there, but yet, out of all the people that have ever seen it and watched it and maybe even drawn the same conclusions that I have, I am the first person who has ever felt the need to make such videos. You know what I'm saying? Even the people who have posted clips, for instance, of The Curse of Princess Ivy on their channel, this one video in particular, they specifically edited out what I consider my favorite part, the part that I've been talking about. They edited that out. They just completely removed it. It's like, why? Why would you remove that? Why why do people want to make a smaller deal out of these things and not a bigger deal? You know what I'm saying? And like I've stated before, the children's literature pertaining to all these movies, the books, they mention nothing about Kira vomiting. They mention nothing about Angelica and what I've discussed before. And the Curse of Princess Ivy would have nothing about Cedric and all that, and what went on with him in the song that I made. It's like they specifically edit out the most interesting things, like they're unimportant, like they don't really matter. But yeah, it's like, it's not so much, why am I making these videos? Why have I made these videos? Which I ask myself that all the time. Why even bother if nobody's watching me? It's why has no one else? Why am I the first and probably the last? Why am I the lone voice in the wilderness about these things? That's what I've always wondered. And as such, I get banned easily because, even if what I'm saying can be backed up and proven, it's just so easy, to silence just one person with something to say that most people don't really like. And I don't get why they don't like it. I do not get what's not to love about what I've stated before. You know what I'm saying? What's not to love about a monster that is Angelica messing herself, in front of the babies that she's bullied for, since the beginning of the show. And what's not to love about that is what I don't understand. And if, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And what's not to love about, the wicked wizard of the West that is Cedric and Sophia the First, vomiting in front of two little girls, and even if one of them did it, I mean, that's still a great thing, because it's like, not only did he threw up like an 8 or 9-year-old little girl and cried. But it's like, that's what I don't get. It's like, why am I the first and only person, posting such things? It's not, the question shouldn't be, why do you do this, Veronica? The question should be like, why am I the only one? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be so weird if at least one other person had done it, maybe like from when these movies were new, but I shouldn't be alone, you know what I'm saying? And, like on Tumblr and stuff like that, there was only one person that kind of alluded to it and said, "Oh, poor guy." That was the only comment. It's like they understood it but weren't going to even say it aloud as to what he was doing under there. So at least one person caught on to it, but they didn't, like, say, rejoice about it in the way that I did. And somehow that was offensive. And same thing with Angelica. It's like, at least a few other people in this world probably drew my same conclusion or said, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like nobody has ever felt the need to, like, jump on a trampoline about these things, and say, like, well, in my case, I mean, All's Well That Pretends Well was my absolute favorite Rugrats episode. As I've stated before, if I could only have one 30-minute block of Rugrats content, if I had a memory stick and I could only preserve 2 episodes, 2 only, worth of Rugrats content, I would preserve All's Well That Pretends Well and Chucky Loses His Glasses. I would create my own 2-pack instead of, the way they would pair it with one that didn't have her. But I would make it that way. All's Well That Pretends Well and Chucky Loses His Glasses. Those were my 2 favorites. And so, and the thing about, like, Sophia the First, it'd be a bit harder to create one because there's several that I like for various reasons. But you know, it's just, it's mind blowing because it's like, yeah, it's not like, it's not why, and of course we know that Typhoid Sam is my favorite rocket power. It's not so much, why do I make these videos? Why do I have these thoughts? It's why am I the only one? That's what I've asked over the past 5 years. You know, why am I the only one? Why am I the only one who thinks like me? That's kind of what I'm getting at. Why am I the only one who wishes there were more boy dolls in proportion to the girls? You know, why am I the only one who wants that so badly that I'm willing to convert girl dolls into boys by flocking their hair? Why am I the only one who has ever noticed or wanted to say out loud that men have it so much easier than women? I mean, obviously, I'm not the only one. I mean, there's a whole industry of, you know, male hormones for females and, you know, chest binders and top surgery, etc. But I'm one of a very small percentage of the population that thinks that way to varying degrees, and I'm toward the lower end of that, you know, lower end of the spectrum. As in, if there was mildly transgender, that's what I am. Why am I the only one, you know, who has ever said, I don't want any kids because they will give me a cold? Not because I want to travel, not because I want to do other things, because they will give me a cold. Because they will give me a cold. That's why I don't want any kids. Why am I the only one who has ever said, I don't want to get pregnant because I might vomit? Not because of everything else, because I might vomit. You know, why am I the only one who's so freaking obsessed with colds, vomiting, and poop that I have decided to plan my whole entire freaking life around not doing those things in front of other people? Why am I the only one who says that potty training is for all states of matter? That's what I want to know. That is what I want to know. I want to know, why am I the only one? Now, why do I think this way? Why am I weird? Why am I the only one?